Welcome. This video is a follow-up to what we did in Class 1, and it will be the first of hopefully 10 videos. And the idea is that if you forget anything that we learned in class, you can refer to this video and that will help you again. Please don't, if you forget a sign, don't make them up. Go back to the video and have a look. If you start making signs up, it's very difficult to change them, okay? So, there were lots of things that I said in class. The first thing I think that's important is that at this point, you make sure that you are making the signs very clean, very clear, okay? I don't mind what you do in 10 years' time, because what you'll find is if you are watching somebody who is deaf, who BSL is their native language, they tend to sometimes shortcut or only half make the sign because they're doing it so quickly. And of course, like with any language, German, French, Italian, whatever you're learning, it's okay, you can learn as much as you like, but when you're having to listen back or read back in BSL, when somebody's talking to you at full speed, it gets a bit tricky, alright. But you can always ask them to slow down, don't be panicking, and if you don't understand a sign, just ask them to finger spell it slowly, and I'm sure you'll get there. So the first thing I started off with was the syntax. There's two types of sign language, really. There's a few more, but there's one with children, Makaton, we don't talk about that. But there's a thing called sign-assisted English, which is kind of every English word in English has a sign, except the conjunctives, which we leave out. And that's the kind of thing that we use in the liturgy, which you'll see me, if you ever come to Mass, that's what you'll see me signing. Now, the reason we do that is that I have to voice over at the same time. Okay, so you voice over in English, therefore you use the English signs that go with it. Now, BSL is very different. Their syntax, their structure of the sentence is kind of moved around a bit. All right. So first of all, the example that I gave was this sentence, okay? Why was the black cat climbing the tree in your garden yesterday? Okay, now to voice that over in English, using my voice, to put it in the correct syntax, it sounds like this. Yesterday, your garden, tree, black cat, climb, why? Okay. So these are the things that you've got to learn. There are 6 things. This is the order. Timeline, location, object, subject, verb, question. Question always at the end, all right? Timeline always at the beginning, question always at the end. So let's go back to the sentence, the English sentence with the black cat. So why was your black cat climbing in the tree in your garden yesterday? The timeline is yesterday, all right? The location is the garden. The object is the tree. The subject is the black cat. The verb, that's the doing bit. That was the cat is actually climbing. So climbing is the verb. And the question why is at the end. All right. So we'll go back to the English again. Why was the black cat climbing the tree in your garden yesterday? Yesterday in your garden, the tree, black cat, climb why. Alright, sounds difficult, but what you've not to do is to panic at this stage. Now, I ran a course a few years ago where I think I gave too much information in each of the classes, so I'm going to slow things right down. Okay. So, but you do need to learn, if you can learn those 6 things, timeline, location, object, subject, verb, question, you're well on your way to getting to grips with BSL. Now, in English, we have lots of peripheral words, conjunctives, which they help English flow beautifully. Words like but, and, if, so on. We don't use those in sign language, and the reason we get away with that is because sign language is more than just the signs that you make with your hands. It's body language and it's facial expressions. It is a complete language. All right. So I think one of the easiest ways to deal with this, if you're still struggling with it, is to see BSL, if you like, as a shortcut of what goes on in English. So you get rid of all the peripherals, buts, if, and what's left is then what you work with, just to tweak them around to make BSL. Excuse me. So the next thing I want to do is the alphabet. So the hand, the 5 fingers of the hand are the vowels, so A, E, I, O, U, but I don't want you just to point to them. I want you to bring them forward, so A, E, I, O, U. I always think that this makes it very clear. So whether you're looking at it from sideways on, or whether you're looking at it from slightly behind, you can still see which finger is coming forward. Alright, so the whole alphabet, here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, that's like a Y, and Z. Okay. So that's the alphabet. Now I'm going to move on to the vocab that I gave you. Alright, so first of all, the pointing ones. So, me, or I, him, her, you. Okay. Now, the possessive ones, I always think of it this way. We all have hang-ups about the way we learn things. This is mine. So, I possess it. So, instead of me, it's I have it. I hold it in my hand. It's now mine. Okay? So, it's possessive. Mine. Yours. Theirs. Or ours. Starts at the chest and comes back to me. Okay. So, who? What? Where? Why? Because. Now, because has 2 signs. It's the same as why. Because. Or you may see it. Because. Number. Old. Age. Home. Now, please and thank you are the same words, but it depends on what you're doing with your lips. So, please, thank you. Work. 2 L's. Retire. Retire. Poor. Stupid. Clever. Lazy. Anything to do with food is basically the same sign. Depends what you do with this. So food, breakfast, lunch, dinner, to eat. All right. Sign language is sign language. You may also see it done as sign language. Deaf. Hearing. Manchester, Manchester, MC, Manchester. Live. From. How are you? It's literally 2 thumbs up the body. How are you? I'm well, thanks. Okay, so if you can learn those, that'll be great for next week. Now, the little bit of homework that I gave you, which is very simple, but you need to really practice it, okay? And that is that my name is Jim Clark and I'm from Manchester. Now, I could say the sign for name is name, name. So my name is Jim Clark. I'm from Manchester. But what I'd like you to be able to do is to sign the place or finger spell it. Okay, so Manchester. So my name, don't need the is, my name, Jim Clark, I'm from Manchester. Alright, so that's well practiced. Manchester has become a sign in itself, and I've practiced it that much that I can actually sign Manchester while I'm saying something else, and that's what I want you to be able to do. Practice, practice, practice. That's a sign for practice. Practice, practice, practice all the time. Okay, so that's enough for this session, and I will see you hopefully next week.